Hello, 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 everybody. I am your androgynous android late night DJ Caster. Good evening, good evening. Hello, salutations. How are you all doing? I'm doing good. Yes, I'm gonna need to go and wiggle some audio volume stuff again, aren't I? This goes up. And then I go into volume mixer and turn Citizen Sleeper 2 way the fuck down. Apologies. This game definitely is like reasonable in terms of volume in my ears, but I know that sometimes the volume streams can lie to you. So hopefully that's good. That's good. Hopefully I can be heard well. Hope everybody is having a good evening. The rare Tuesday stream in the building. I used to do Tuesday streams quite regularly and it kind of fell apart when I moved, but I am glad to be back. And glad to be back at it. Yes. And I really enjoyed playing Citizen Sleeper 2 last week. It's very, God, the words. I really loved Citizen Sleeper 1. Citizen Sleeper 2 is also very good. It's also harder and not about the same things, and that's fine. I think I appreciate it not being about exactly the same things. But we had a very fraught session last time. We very narrowly escaped both of the first missions that we did. I will be, as per last time, voice acting or narrating basically everything that comes up in text that isn't like mechanic stuff. This is designed to just be super chill, super relaxed, vibesy. I would say it's good evening or sleepy time listening, but we did get a touch pressed when things were going wrong last session. I will try and keep that under control. But without further ado, let's go play a video game, shall we? We resume. And as before, please do let me know how my volume sits, especially when I'm narrating in kind of sotto voices. So we're in a new place today. We can't travel anywhere. That's fine. But we are in an entirely new location, very big location. After having been hit by the kind of shockwave of the last space station we were at detonating, and we've escaped barely with our lives, and so we are out to try and understand this new location that we're in, maybe earn a little bit of money. However, the fact that we have been hit by this wave and remotely hacked by the like mafia don who was very mad that we ran away from him without settling up a probably infinite debt. The hacking attempt from him has glitched us, which has messed with our dice slightly. We use these dice to do things. On our last previous mission, things went bad enough where I was damaged enough to lose access to one of my dice, and another one is pretty badly damaged. So we're in need of being able to roll some dice to clear our glitches and repair the damage that we've taken. Roaming the docks, study the manifests. Okay, this is something that we can do. And probably something we can spend our glitch dices on. I do believe glitch dices are a 50-50 chance of being a 1 or a 6. We do want to do the things that are probably safer for us right now, considering we are in a pretty bad state. We are so bad at being an engineer. Let's go and find that interfacing one again, because that gives us just a modicum more of options. Interface is my strongest stat. So if we apply glitch dice to this... Oh, it's 80% chance negative. Oh no. That's really bad. And ignores the fact that it's a thing I would be good at. Okay. Yeah, I am gonna have to take a fair amount of damage just to kind of, or my energy levels are gonna drop just to try and make our way safely to unlocking some new story. But we have to get rid of the shitty dice where they land. New location discovered. Okay, what's the new location? Is it somewhere we can eat at? Oh, well. As you glide through the Pinnacle docks, you hear shouting echoing down a corridor. You tentatively change direction, your eyes fixed ahead as the passage widens out into a large bay. Others rush past you, heading towards the commotion. Your eyes are drawn by the bay's vast viewing window, which is clearly being spattered with glittering shards of ice. A dock worker is shouting to anyone who will listen. "Spacers! Workers of the fast spindle! We need your urgent assistance! The water carrier Springtide has suffered heavy damage in its transit from the wellspring." He takes a breath. "All able hands, we need you to help secure the cargo. Without this water, fast spindle will struggle to support you." He looks desperately at the crowd. I see. The damage is pretty visible. "Please, any who are able to help, please make yourselves known." Behind him, a corona of ice ejects from one of the tanks, drawing a pale halo around the ship. A handful of experienced-looking spacers push through the crowd towards the front, and dock walkers start to direct them to nearby bridges. You watch the scene unfold, hesitant in the face of making someone else's problem your own. So we can assist in building the water freighter. And we can use an interface check to be able to help here, so that's good. And this gets worse every day. I see. But it's 6 days, so we aren't in too bad of a position. I would rather use all of my dice to keep exploring the Pinnacle in a way that's safe. It doesn't matter if I drop a little energy here, I don't think. I think I'm okay with doing so. Oh, we still get it though. Nice. Positive outcome with a glitch dice. We get an achievement for that. Lucky. 1 in 5, 20% chance. We take those. Hopefully this will be another positive outcome and we can just clear this in one sweep. Okay, we do it. Fabulous. Good sense of the key locations in the Pinnacle docks. And it gives me things I can investigate now. A gambling barge. Wow. Okay. So we can gamble our money. And if we get very, very good at gambling, then we can unlock something new. But that's not... Interface is not my highest stat, so... then there's the signal station, which we can't do anything with yet. Unfortunately, I did not necessarily unlock anywhere to eat, which is not great. Hexport's demise has put a barrier between Darkspider and the Fast Spindle. Lane can't follow. For now you're safe. So I have 6 days to do what I want before this part of the plot advances. And repairing the rig, that's also going to take 4 cycles. So we'll be able to fix our ship and then have 2 cycles of being able to do what we want with access to the ship. But for now, we need to rest. We can eat, though. We do have the supplies to be able to eat. Good thing I stocked up on supplies before we left, so I won't have to pay money to do that anyway. Now, I wonder if I remain glitched the next day, Okay, so it's like a radiation effect. It wears off over time. Reduce stress. I'm not stressed right now, so I don't need to do that. But I do have a nice looking 6 here right now. So maybe making use of that will be a good idea. Ah, this is work that I can earn money at. Yep. Sure. I'm pretty good for money, so I don't need to worry about that right now. What are the other options that are available to me? The shantytown. I can't help the residents. I am a terrible engineer, and I remain terrible throughout the game, so that's going to be fun. However, Intuit is fine, so I might be able to use this to learn more of the space. However, my rolls are pretty bad here. We have 6 days to... I can't believe I only have 4 tasks, 4 things available to me with 1 damage. That's so bad. We'll get started. And it gave me a new location, so that's useful. Plot? No. We can earn a meal. Members' Kitchen serves that those who can't work in the outer hand, but able-bodied visitors like you have to work a kitchen shift to get to eat. I see. And then if I spend enough time doing... but it's a safe check, so I can spend my glitch die here. And I still get the positive outcome. And it heals me to do it, and... Oh, that's very good. Okay. Right, wonderful. So I can slot my not good dice into working there. But for now, I only have 2 dice to really put towards this. Oh, that's not good. All right. 75% chance, believe. Okay. Okay. 75% chance, believe. Right. Man, this works fast. We have a pretty limited number of things we can do in these days, especially since I have fewer available. But it's fine. It's fine. We've now worked off the kind of glitch effects, right? So, oh. Plot is occurring. You awake to the sound of blaring proximity alarms. You quickly unstrap from your bunk and dizzily glance around. Lane? Bounty hunters? You kick off and glide to the door. As you do, Bliss pops their head around the corner. Sorry. They look a little sheepish. In all honesty, it's not my fault. Your wiring's all backward. It takes a moment to understand what's happening. You steady yourself against the doorframe. Sorry. I'm just a little jumpy. I get it. Bliss looks down. I didn't mean to wake you. It takes you a while to get ready and drift down to the mess to see what's happening. By then, Bliss has turned off the alarms. You find them unspooling wires from a hatch you'd never previously noticed in the mess's ceiling. Sorry again, Sleeper. Their voice comes through the ceiling panels, muffled and dull. You settle at a stool, neatly tucking your legs behind the crossbar. How are you doing? Me? Bliss's muffled voice echoes around the room. I'm working. A pause. Helps keep my mind off things. What things? Bliss spins deftly, hooking their legs into the open ceiling so that, from your perspective, they're hanging upside down. They give you a look. Do you really want to know? A yawning Seraphim drifts in. He looks between the two of you, amused. What are you both doing up so early? You and Bliss exchange amused looks. What? Seraphim asks. You didn't hear the alarm? He shrugs. Heavy sleeper. He drifts over to the messer's cupboards to hunt for some breakfast. You turn back to Bliss, but they have disappeared into the ceiling panels. Before long, the mess is filled with a shrill screech of a power tool. Seraphin looks totally unaffected and hooks himself onto a stool, lazily sucking at a ration pouch while he taps away at his slate. The screech finally stops. After a while, you kick off from your stool. Time to head out. Bliss rushes after you, stopping you in the passageway before you can leave. I have something I want to show you. Bliss leads you off the main corridor into a corner of the ship you don't remember visiting before. You come into a room with low sloped ceilings, a single round window illuminating some neat tool storage and a workbench set into the wall. Look, Bliss begins. I'm no specialist, but I'm a quick learner and good at repairs. They smile. And I think you have need of me. They glance at you at the tear in the thick vinyl skin of your arm. Can they take a look? Okay. They smile and lead you towards the workbench. They turn your arm, looking at the tear from all angles. They reach over to the workbench and take a small sealant gun from the rack. You look at the setup. It's basic, but it looks clean and well organized. They gently close the tear with sealant, pressing the edges together so it closes up neatly. After they're done, they release your arm and you can barely see the scar. Bliss admires their work. See? They smile. I know it's more serious than a tear, Bliss folds their arms, but I can handle it. They turn and search through a set of metal drawers for a moment. Here. They produce a couple of carefully machined, pristine components. We're saving these for an important job, they wink. I guess I just found it. Bliss pushes the components into your hands. Take them. When you're ready, come here and we'll fix you up. These are a rare find, though. In future, we may have to make do with something lower quality. They wince. You can find scrap components at most scrapper ships, like the one that's hanging around the underhang. The better the components, the easier they'll integrate with your system. Bliss leans on the workbench. I'll do my best to keep you running. Thank you. Don't worry about it, they shrug. You are a guest in my bay, and I can't have my guest bodies collapsing now, can I? Plus, I think it benefits me if you think of me as indispensable. Bliss smiles. I should get back to fixing the ship. They leave you in the workshop among the simple tools, considering the peculiar qualities of your new friend. Dice repair is now available. Ah, okay. So we have you can repair your dice at the rig workshop. You can only repair dice that are fully broken. Pairs require scrap components or rare. The better your components, the less glitches you will suffer. I see. So if you use cheap parts, you will raise your glitch meter separately to being hacked. For now, we do have one broken die, so... Oh, well, it gave me an upgrade point, so that's nice. I guess because I had a mission to go and repair myself. Explore each section, sure. But unfortunately, that doesn't actually give me the die back, so... Let's make sure that this is properly dealt with. Although, those last two are a little risky. I'll take the 75% chance. Just one. Okay. I think the last two will have to be solved tomorrow. For now, though, I think I want to invest these 1s and 2s in working at numbers. Since it feeds us, and that's nice. Yeah, this one is pretty miserable. Oh, I still gained a point of glitch in the process of, I see. Well, so it goes. No money. Oh, no impressing number if we fail the roll. That's fine. All right. I guess we continue with the process of trying to sort ourselves out. We really, I mean, we stopped last session because I was chatting for 3 hours and was feeling it, but we've definitely put ourselves in a bit of a lull position at the moment. Also, our fuel capacity has increased from 5 to 10. That's good to know. You jerk suddenly awake. A fragment is lodged in your mind, a shard of sound, of signal, a tone. It resonates like tinnitus, obviously internal, inescapable. You look down to see your hands blurred, your fingers dancing as if they were typing. Your fingers flap like caught birds. And it takes all of your focus to settle them. You force yourself back into them, a sensation like squeezing on a tight pair of gloves. You flex your hands a little to feel them, test them. What was that? You take a deep breath to calm yourself, but as you do, you are reminded that you don't need to breathe. This is a claustrophobic sensation that you cannot shake. You get up, push off the wall, pull on your clothes, anything to escape the dreams that hover there at the back of your mind. Seraphin drifts in casually, heading to his bunk to grab something. You can't shake the strange sensation that he has just drifted into your mind. He shoots you a glance. I said, "Are you okay?" He gives you a concerned look. "You look terrible." "Not really." You mumble a response. "You need to talk to me, Sleeper." Seraphin gives you a look. He sighs. "I know something happened back when we were leaving Hexport." "The explosion?" "Not the explosion." He shakes his head. "I saw it, Sleeper. Saw something change in your eyes." He pauses, looking for the right way to explain. "They were cold, fixed. I've never seen that before." He looks away. "Back when we first met, I knew at once you were human. I knew because of your eyes. I'd never met a Sleeper before, but I knew immediately that you were no machine. It was obvious. But then, on the rig," he shivers. "I couldn't see that anymore." Oh. So, I guess a lore detail, if we do not remember from last session. A Sleeper is somebody who is a human who has essentially been put into cryosleep and has had their consciousness duplicated, transferred. Yes, duplicated and transferred into a, I guess, autonomous shell to be piloted around. It's capable of heavy labor, hard labor, in a way that the human body cannot. It seems to have been employed as a way for people who are desperate for money and are not in a position to do heavy space labor to do that and then be paid quite handsomely, assumedly, on the other side after their term is up. However, because it is a duplicated consciousness, it's not the original body, and it seems to lead to circumstances where the Sleeper has a personality and a will and a desire of their own separate to the person that put them in that circumstance. Essentially, you've been forced into slavery by yourself, who is a separate entity from you, and it feels a little, there's a little bit of animosity there. So it seems that Sleepers are pretty prone to fleeing their hard labor circumstances. So functionally, the Sleeper is a machine, just piloted by, I guess, the simulacra of human consciousness, so good as to be indistinguishable, but they are still treated as disposable second-class citizens. It's kind of fucked up in a way that is perfect for cyberpunk fiction. However, I think to force on Seraphim that I am a machine is so aggressively self-defeatist. I don't think it's helpful for either of us to go and say that, as moody sad boy tortured as it would be to say. I don't know what happened. What did it feel like? He gives you a curious look. I try to describe it. You close your eyes and recall the moment. You remember Lane's voice, the rig hot and close, the numbness, and then you see it glittering in the non-space of your mind, thin and bright like a spider's silk, a thread, a connection between your mind and something else. You open your eyes to Seraphim's expectant face. You try to think how to describe what you just felt, but words fail you. Still, you know how it felt. The invisible hand of a signal linked to your mind, and the thought makes you shiver. We need to get you checked up. We need to know what's happening. Seraphim gives you a stubborn stare. This isn't just about you. But where? I've been asking around. Seraphim's face is set with determination now. There's another station near this one. Flotsam. It's a mess, an accumulation of wrecks and docked ships, but it also houses some of the best artificers in the wash. We should go there as soon as the rig is ready. Okay. I'll go. Thank you. Look, he pauses. I know I don't know what it's like to be a sleeper. I understand that there are things you can't tell me, can't show me, but I do know how fear can keep you from doing what you need to do. The trans allegories are just... they come thick and fast in this game. The writer, I believe, is non-binary. And not that any of this is necessarily autobiographical on their end, but I can definitely see how their perspective on the process of being queer and transitioning in a way is very strongly echoed in what this game does with sleepers as a metaphor, which I personally enjoy. I picked up that reading pretty directly without knowing anything about them in the first game, and I'm glad it's just fully doubled down on in this. Yeah. I'm not going to nag you about it, but it needs to be done. He passes by you as he leaves the bunks, squeezing your shoulder as he does, leading you to your thoughts. You finish getting dressed, feeling your body, its strangeness, even though you wish you didn't. At the very least, you think you need to find someone who can stop you from falling apart. Maybe Flotsam is not such a bad idea. You push the thought to the back of your mind. There's a cycle ahead, and the rig isn't ready. When it is, then you'll say... I mean, I don't think it's a bad idea at all. You should do that. We have a lot of 4s, which we can push to 5s. So I feel that this is something we can push ourselves to clear pretty quickly. Neutral outcome. If it takes all 3 of them, that sucks, but we can do it. It's going to take all 3 of them. Oh my god. Just losing all of these coin flips. And this one's going to be a success. Oh no, also neutral. Fine. We got a minor drive and got some EXP, which we can spend shortly. You watch from the docking bay's viewing window as the crumpled, vast hull of the Springtide is finally welded shut by a score of bright torches flickering against its side. Everywhere I look... Everywhere I look, I see a crisis. The voice comes from behind you, and you turn to see a man floating there, watching the repair work. You don't recognize him. I saw you out there, helping the crew. He turns to you with a serious look. The fast spindle needs that water. You aren't wrong. He pauses, watching you carefully. I haven't seen you on the spindle before. What, if I may ask, is your business here? I'm running a crew. He nods. I see. Springtide is my ship. His face remains impassive. At least, I am her captain. I do not own her. The Lotic Syndicate, my employer, was the one who put her into service. Oh, Glad to meet you. He bows his head gently. You have my thanks for assisting with the repairs. We were caught by some autonomous Conway munitions. He looks out at his ship. The Wellspring run is getting more dangerous every cycle. And after Hexport, he pauses. I do not expect things to improve. You both go quiet for a moment, the loss of the station still inspiring silence in anyone who mentions it. Tell me, Malik meets your eye. As a sleeper, do you feel you have advantages over others, or does your particular condition provide only weaknesses? I mean, to be clear, I guess not needing to breathe is good. But there are so many other physical and psychological points of failure. I don't think it's at any point been established if I am any stronger or faster than a normal human in this form. I guess it's implied, since being a sleeper kind of exists to put you under heavy labor, but I see no reason not to be honest. There are many downsides. He nods. Of course, but you are stronger, hardier, more capable than most humans. Okay. He gestures towards the Springtide. Your work on my ship only evidences your abilities. You far outperformed even my own crew. He looks to you, angling his head in deference, in conditions that are usually deadly. Sadly, despite even your good work, our losses have been great, and the administration at the Far Spindle are not happy. We are to be impounded here until the Lotic Syndicate fulfills the agreed water freight. Ah, I see. So they have to send somebody else for the additional water. He frowns at the crumpled-looking ship. This war continues to pressure the belt. What will you do? This is where you are needed, Sleeper. Malik folds his arms. My crew tells me you have a ship. You have workers. This is what I need. As we fled from the Conway attack, our navigator registered something of great interest. Water-rich asteroid, one I believe is previously unknown to the syndicates. He comes a little closer. For now, I have sworn him to secrecy, as I must you. But if this asteroid could be surveyed, its value confirmed, it would more than make up for the shortfall of the Springtide. He pauses thoughtfully. I will let him continue. I want you to survey the asteroid for me. It is a simple enough job, but its location so close to the edge of the wash is problematic. However, you have shown yourself to be very competent. If you are careful, there is no reason you should have any problems with Conway, or any other hostile party for that matter. And what do I get? I will, of course, reimburse you with a portion of the fee the Far Spindle administration is withholding from me. 250 cryo is my offer. How will your employer feel about that? The Lotic Syndicate only cares that his water is delivered and its fees paid. I am free to make sure this happens in a timely and efficient manner, as I see fit. Malik passes you a thumbnail drive. Here are the details on the tests I need you to run for the survey. A sample core of ice from deep within the asteroid should give you enough material to work with. You notice a member of the Springtide's crew waiting quietly at a distance, and Malika nods to them discreetly. This is a delicate matter, Sleeper. Survey the rock, and on your return, broadcast the results to my personal terminal. The frequency is in that data. He pauses, meeting your eye. The results go to me. Only to me. Then, once the matter is resolved, you will be paid. I am needed. He nods to the crew member, but I expect you are all you need. He pauses. I've enjoyed watching you work, Sleeper. Impress me again. So, compared to the last big mission that we came across on Hex Town, where it was like, oh, if you do the gig, I'll probably give you this part. This is actually directly offering me cash. 250 is like more than the amount of money I have on hand. It's not huge. I would love 300. And with that, he bows a little and drifts away to meet his crew member. After watching him go, you turn back to the Springtide, still impressive, despite being scarred with curls of ice and shiny with fresh welds. You imagine any captain of a ship like that has been through a lot to get to where they are. That makes them a valuable ally or a dangerous adversary, depending on where you are. You hope with Malik you can find your way to being the former. We have a new contract, but we don't have a way of gaining new supplies yet. Which is bad. Bad things. Let's... I'm going to spend this one doing a risky thing here. Neutral negative. And we'll just lose food if we've... Okay, cool. We get a little bit. It felt like a solid risk. Because if this glitch tie is bad, we still get fed, so... Yeah, fine. Well, at least we're at full capacity now, and our rig is going to be fixed next cycle, so that's cool. It feels like things have gone a little slow. We've been unlucky with some die rolls. But hey, we're still in good time. Okay, solid dice. Pretty middle of the road. As you drift lazily down the ship's mess, you hear raised voices. You steel yourself for a moment at the entrance, then slip aside. Excuse me. Seraphin sits, hooked onto his usual stool, his slate glowing beside him. He's shaking his head as you enter. Bliss, meanwhile, is fruiting freely and gesticulating sharply as they explain something important. I don't see why not, Bliss chops at the air. It's not like you have an alternative. We can get the cryo. It'll take time, but we can get it. That was the deal, Seraphin speaks, calmly trying to placate Bliss. Sleeper! Bliss spots you upon entering, and they turn to Seraphin. Let's see what Sleeper has to think about it. About what? They both fall silent for a moment. Seraphin sighs. Are the rigs ready, Sleeper? Bliss gestures around the mess. I've fixed it. Hell, I've improved it. She's purring, thanks to me. Now, wouldn't you say, having done such an incredible job, I deserve to be paid properly for my work? A calculated look crosses his face. A refit and a retune like this would typically cost my clients hundreds of cryo, even if I was feeling charitable. Seraphin sighs loudly. He knows where this is going. See, I could make you pay, and maybe you could even scrape the cryo up, but not without taking a contract and taking the ship off station, leaving me in the lurch. We wouldn't do that, Seraphin starts, but Bliss holds up her hand to shush him. So, I have a proposition, one that clears the debt completely. They pause. I will turn around the open sign on this little bay of mine and join up with you. You keep me in work, give me my split, and give me transit to wherever you are headed. I'll even keep this rig of yours working for free. They shrug. What could be better than that? Us paying and being on our way, with no hangers-on. Seraphin folds his arms and looks at you. Tell them, Sleeper. No. We need all the help we can get. We need all the help we can get. Granted, Nia last time, in addition to being duplicitous, was also not very good at her job. But I can tell that Bliss has an excellent engineer stat, and neither Seraphin nor I have that. Desperate for their help. Actually, we could use their help. Bliss grins at Seraphin. See, Sleeper gets it. You can use my help. I'm an excellent engineer, a tidy shipmate, and a half-decent chef. I'm done with fast spindle. I'm done not taking enough jobs for not enough cryo on a station where I know nobody. They pause, satisfied. You're welcome. Seraphin holds up his hands. Look, we appreciate it, but we are on the run, Bliss. Trust me, you are better off here. He gives them a serious look. Even telling you this could put you in danger. Bliss pauses. They start laughing. On the run! They shake their heads, smiling. You expect me to be scared off by that goofy shit? It's true. Bliss just shrugs. This system is at war. The belt is spiraling into a crisis. Everyone's got something. I know you were at Hexport. Seraphine looks at them open-mouthed, searching for a retort. What happened there? Who's to say it won't happen here? I'm not sitting around watching all this play out any longer. They take a deep breath. Something has to give. Bliss turns to Seraphine. Look, you've done your due diligence or whatever. You're on the run. I've been warned. I accept the risks. That's it. At the end of the day, your ship is clamped into my bay. So unless you know my encryption protocols, there's not much left to discuss. Seraphine shakes his head, a small smile crossing his face. We've got us there. He looks at you, and then at Bliss. Looks like we've gained a crewmate. He unhooks from his stool. But I'm moving to the engine room. And he drifts off towards the bunks to gather his things. You and Bliss exchange a nervous look. Sleeper? Welcome aboard. Bliss smiles and gives you a half-hearted mock salute. You leave Bliss in the galley and head towards the cockpit. The rig is ready to fly again, but her question is, where to take her next? Seraphine mentioned Flotsam, a short starward journey from here, as a busy station where you might find an artificer to help diagnose your glitches and errors. Sunward, meanwhile, is the Hellion Gate, an abandoned and uninhabited megastructure left over from the Solheim days. Maybe good for salvage, but not an easy place to survive. And beyond that, well, as they say, the belt is wide, and at least for now you have a functioning ship. New ship crew available. I've unlocked the belt map. Cool. So this ice-rich asteroid for Malik is 3 fuel away. That's great, but there's so much stuff to, do. We haven't pushed this at all. This might be a good day to go and see if I can do that. Okay, we need 2 for the full success. In that case, it's probably just best to leave it on Intuit. Neutral. So I can finish this today. And I do want to buy fuel. We're good on supplies, thank God. Okay. We still get some progress towards Spindle Core, even if we fail. Full success? Damn it, man. Ugh. Alright. We've got a market hall going. And we can buy supplies. Good. I don't need right now. We have enough fuel to get there and back. So I don't need to worry about that right now, but it's good to know that this is all available to me now, because this was something I was very worried about not having access to. Rack is a seaweed liquor. Huh. Get racked. Sure. Oh, I gain energy out of it, and it's only money, so on neutral outcome anyway. I'm sure if it goes badly, I could lose money. But okay, since I'm now at max, I don't need to save this last die to work at the space. So let's explore the core and get this up to max. Even on negative, that's fine. The fast spindle lives up to its name, its tall structure making it a real effort to travel from end to end. The local solution to this problem are the transit tunnels, massive tubes bolted to the outside of the spindle that allow for rapid passage from bottom to top. As you find yourself in one of these cavernous passages, bulky cargo haulers rushing by, and you start to wonder if braving them is worth the effort. Back it up! The shout rattles down the bare transit corridor like a gunshot, and is rapidly followed by a crunching impact. You spin back, pushing yourself against the side of the wide cylindrical passage. As you do, a hauler glides past, sending a rippling wave of air across you in its wake. Oh, new character. When the roar subsides, you hear a string of expletives coming from nearby. A spiky-looking figure, clutching some oddly-shaped open-frame object, gestures wildly at the vehicle as it glides away. Dickhead! Dickhead! She spits an impressive glob of saliva down the tunnel, and it spirals in 0G. She turns to you in her anger. You see that? Tried to slam me into the wall! Total dickhead. She nods firmly. No shit. Haulers hate us. She sniffs and looks you up and down. Not supposed to be in the transit system without a vehicle. She squints. Not like I care, but maybe you do? What about you? She shakes the open frame in her hand. What does this look like to you? She rolls one of her shoulders, stretching it out. You're new here, right? Yes. She shrugs sympathetically. Figures. Let me give you a tip. She begins checking her open frame vehicle, tightening bolts and untangling pipes. Avoid the haulers. Dickheads, a lot of them. Especially the water haulers. Think they're better than anyone. Don't mess with the Steve doors, though. They're good people. Treated us like shit, get treated like shit by everyone else, just like us. Sentence. She rapidly plugs and unplugs a series of connectors. They'll show you shortcuts. She looks up. Never, ever get in a Spindlejack's way. She smiles, spinning the vehicle in her hand. Spindlejack? She thumps her chest. You're looking at one? She pauses, considering something. Then suddenly she reaches into one of her many pockets and pulls out a small transparent rectangle punched with holes. Text glints in it, reading, Cadet, Strip Line Express. You take it. Cadet, she flexes proudly. That's me. Stripline is my outfit. Kamal's the dispatcher. Small outfit, but we punch above our weight. Dispatcher's here in the spindle's core, but I run the transit tunnels up and down the spindle 10 times a cycle. You need anything moving on the spindle? Data, tech, messages too hot for the hardline? Come find me. I'll do that. She nods. Tell them I sent you. They'll make sure it gets to me. She kicks off the wall and mounts her bike, triggering a small burst of compressed air to keep herself steady in the transit passage. You hear a buzz of distorted speech from what you assume is her dispatcher. Cadet angles her head into her communicator and mutters back into it. Got a hop sleeper? She looks over at you and something flickers in her eyes. An idea, perhaps. Or just a realization. You might be able to help me with something. Package that's been bothering me. She squints down at the package. Come to the office at Stripline in a few cycles and I'll show you. Sure. You'll call it a favor on account of me saving you from being flattened by a hauler. She winks. Now, you better get out of here before another hauler tries to squish you. You step back as she twists her handlebars and a burst of air sends her flying down the transit corridor at an unsettling speed. You watch her go, slightly caught off guard by her final remarks. What would a courier need you for? You turn the idea over in your head as you find a way out of the transit corridor, back onto the safety of the main concourse. Ooh, I have a lot of drives going now. Explore fast spindle is definitely a thing I want to kind of focus on. In 2 days, there'll be a thing for me to do here, sure. So, next, I want to spend one more day here, unbothered, moisturized, and then on the day that there's going to be an issue, I can be not here. Oh. Huh. Right, so you can set things for Bliss to do now that they're a crew member. That's neat. Huh. I don't think it explained that to me. Oh, do I have 4 XP? I can increase a stat, which is good. Let's increase into it. So now I have 2 stats at plus. And then I think next time round I will move engineer to neutral. Although that's less important if Bliss is assisting. But, you know, I don't like having 2 stats at negative. Right, I shouldn't have any glitches today, and I'm fully healed. Good. Oh, and what a spread of stats. Hell yes. Okay. I'm going to make very light work of this, especially now that I'm buffed and into it. Guaranteed successes incoming. Hell yes. I might just push this to a 3 and take the... Perfect. So there are jobs that I can do down here, huh? Ceiling shift, not taking that job. I can buy scrap. Okay. So I can buy scrap to be able to heal myself if I'm damaged now. I do have 1 damage die already, which is not ideal, but that is okay. Right, so I think I've done all the tasks that demand my time, or rather, actually, I can finish this up. Absolutely. And then this is pushed to a 2. I'll take the coin flip. Damn. Let's spend this on impressing them, but I have enough money, so I don't really need to worry about that. Okay. Sleeper. Sleeper. Number wants to see you. You nod to the other volunteers as you wipe off your hands and clip your cutlery to the magnetic rack. You drift out to the improvised canteen on your way back to the kitchen in the back. It was a busy shift, and each shift seems busier than the last. That makes sense, of course. You've seen the steady flow of refugees arriving from the inner system, and most of them, with barely a chit to their name, end up in the underhang. As you cross into the kitchen, you still hear the rumble of the refugees' conversations through the hatch. The other chef leads you past the rehydrators and the hand-built centrifugal oven to a small office unit at the back of the kitchen. They knock on the door for you, then glide away to finish their own meal, leaving you to wait by it. You look around the small but carefully arranged kitchen as you wait, your shifts here having left you familiar with the mix of improvised and salvaged equipment, some of which you had never seen before you came here. Oh, look at them! Ah. Precise humanitarian chef. Come in, sleeper. Nember is perched at a desk, uplit by a small transparent terminal screen, reading glasses perched on the end of his nose. You've seen Nember before, but not as much as you would... but not as you'd imagine... Oh, gosh. You've seen Nember before, but not as much as you'd imagine you would. One last try. You've seen Nemba before, but not as much as you'd imagine you would while working at a place called Nemba's Kitchen. Even though there isn't a proper sign out front, everyone in the underhang knows its name. The location, I assume. The man, yes, I see. It might be it. The man himself is more of a mystery. Apart from the occasional barked order in the busy kitchen, he is little more than a blur to you. Why'd you work here? He barely looks up from his terminal screen, the scrolling text reflected in his lenses. I want to help. Uh-huh. Nemba stops scrolling the screen and looks over his glasses at you. You do well here, Sleeper. You are fast. Precise. You're doing good work. He goes back to scrolling. Thanks. Nemba lifts a hand in response. That's my worry, Sleeper. Good workers like you, they move on fast. He leans back and looks at you. 10 cycles, maybe more, maybe less, and then they're gone. And the team? The team gets used to having them here, gets used to working at that pace, and then suddenly they have to work differently. They have to pick up the slack, change jobs, change stations, and a few of them think, well, maybe it's time I moved on too. So, what I found is good workers are trouble, especially those who come and go like you. He pauses, watching you. You let him continue his thought. This place, it runs on consistency, Sleeper. Those that turn up every cycle, good or bad, they get the people fed. He takes off his reading glasses, inspecting them for smudges. Let's be honest, that ain't you. So let's cut to it. I can't use you in the kitchen anymore. You're done. He shrugs. Sorry. But this place also runs on all those machines out there, on the suppliers that can rope in, the donations, feeding refugees from the inner system. Is the logistics as much as it is chefing. He shakes his head, which is why I'm cooped up in the back. So maybe you're gone, and never see you again. Okay, thanks for coming, we'll soldier on without you. But maybe you still want to be useful. Maybe I heard you have a ship. He smiles at you. Yeah, maybe I heard you, Chen. And maybe I have a little something held up in a place only a ship like yours can reach. I negotiated the purchase of some valuable inner-system spores from a group that came from there, but they somehow ended up in a depot in Greenbelt. Nemba sighs. So, if you head to the Greenbelt and you find the delivery and you bring it back, well, Nemba looks at you pointedly, that would be helping. That would be the kind of helping a good worker, even an inconsistent worker, might be able to offer me. Nemba squints at you. Seems like the kind of thing that someone genuine, someone who wants to help for real might do, don't you think? He doesn't wait for the reply. But it also seems like the kind of thing that might sit in a list of priorities for so long it disappears and never gets done. I've seen that happen too. I guess we'll find out which it is. He deftly places his reading glasses back on his face and continues to scroll the screen on his terminal. You know the way out, Sleeper. You turn in the doorway, slightly taken aback, and it slides behind you. You glide out through the kitchen, through the improvised canteen, and the people eating and chatting there, into the cold, underhang passageway beyond. All the time considering what you might do next, and recalling that persuasive glint in Denver's eyes. I mean, hey, we're pretty much full on replies on supplies. So I would be more than happy to help do the trip to Greenbelt. Where is it? Oh. Oh. Shit. I see. This is why our fuel goes up to 10. Can't go here. Can't go here. So there's only 2 places we can go right now. Or 3 places, because there's a local place we can go. I think it's worth helping out the asteroid, because then we can get the cash. And then after we get the cash, we can do other bits and pieces. We had the fuel to go, and we have the supplies, so I think it's probably worth doing. Oh, yes, because Seraphim isn't in the position to assist right now. So it's pretty great that we have Bliss, otherwise we would be fucked. I don't think either of us are going to have Endure, though. So if there's any Endure stuff, then we are in dire straits. The asteroid looms large in the cockpit's glass. Light glints off the sheets of surface ice. The same glint that must have caught Malik's attention when he was fleeing the Conway countermeasures that damaged the Springtide. There's been no sign of Conway drones or mines, but that hasn't stopped Seraphim being cautious in his approach. You have to admit you found yourself searching the black void of space for a telltale red blinking beacon too. We're close enough to jump down to the surface. Seraphim locks down the engines. I don't see anything on the scope, but we'll keep her warm just in case. Thanks. He nods without looking up from the controls. You unclip your seat and kick off towards the airlock. The scale of the asteroid is troubling, but Seraphim assured you on the journey that surveying it would be easy enough. Just take a sample from the deep ice for testing. The problem, he said, is getting down that deep. You have to cut away at the ice, dig yourself a hole, and doing so will create fractures in the shelf. The asteroid may be big, but it is held together with only weak gravitational force. The more ice is cracked away, the less there is for Far Spindle to harvest. Something you doubt Malik will be happy about. You push the worry to the back of your mind and get suited up. Something on your mind? Bliss drifts up beside you and pulls a suit from the rack. The job. They shrug. I don't want to jinx it, but it seems simple enough. Can't say rock, or in this case ice cutting, is my usual strength, but it's got to be simpler than slicing a hull without touching any of the internals. Bliss sips up their suit. We'll be fine. Bliss's reassurance that they don't have any experience with the job you're about to do doesn't exactly calm your worries, but their nonchalant attitude helps, especially when you consider the volume of ice you're about to start cutting into. Cheer up. Bliss punches you on the arm as you get into the airlock. Might never happen. The lock cycles and you find yourself staring out at the glinting surface of the asteroid. 1 second, Sleeper. Seraphim's voice comes out over the comms. I'm seeing something here. Some kind of man-made shaft on the far side of the asteroid. Might be worth a look, but remember, the survey is our priority. It comes first. You can almost hear his eyes roll through the comms link. Don't get distracted. You squint at the rock and spot a dark recess just over the curve of the asteroid. That'll be the distraction then. You refocus on the ice sheet. Time to get started. So we have 2 locations we can look at. We have the ice sheet. Oh, he's neutral? Oh, they're neutral on engineer? I mean, that's better than nothing. I'm garbage at that, so... And they are garbage at hacking, so we can kind of cover for each other. Although, statistically, I mean, my dice are not that good. But that seems like the best way to make that happen. That's a lot of pips. This is easier. I do have the points into it. Yeah, I will give myself 1 stress to reroll my 2 lowest. Sure. That's better. That's better. This hand isn't good enough for me to be able to clear this in 1 day. If I get a really cracking hand, I might see if I can just clear that in 1 day in 1 go. But for this... Oh, neutral outcome gives you stress. Shit, okay. That's, that is dangerous. But still, he has a lot of stress. They have a lot of stress to spend, so. unlucky, but quarter of the way through. Neutral outcome is 1 point. This is unsurprising. Okay. Mm-hmm. Because these dice are so bad. Okay. I'm going to leave that die alone and just move to the next day. Is there a de-stressor? You can spend dice to lower stress. Okay. But we can't rest. We cannot rest while on the contract. We can't heal either. All right. We'll let the day go. No energy loss. And no damage to my pieces. All right, back at it. This is a much better spread of dice. We're pretty close to finishing this, so I'm going to... Oh my god, really? Again. Okay. Focusing our efforts. Because these all go to 5s, so I can really kind of hammer away at this without too much problem. Neutral outcomes might still stress me out. No, they just push it up by 1. Okay. Over halfway in 2 days is good pace. And we could make that even closer by spending these. I don't like the idea of stressing Bliss out this much, but damn, man. Can we spend that 3 on a place that's sensible and isn't going to be stressing them out too much? This is risky, but it's not dangerous. Okay. So we can scavenge some data here, which I'm good at. But it takes more. But that's okay, because I'm good at it. We can spend some of our bad dice next turn, filling that in. But for now, we have to go and rest to go to day 3. Which we're on good pace for. I'm not too worried about this. I guess this mission is supposed to be a bit of a breather. Oh, that's an amazing hand. These are amazing hands. Well, we're definitely going to spend that 6. Good, good. Yes. Yeah, because I can turn these 5s into 6s, so that's worth doing. And because I'm at 2 stress, it's gone and started damaging my other dice, so that's great. Love that. Okay, yeah. Nice. Oh, it's an endure? No, no, that's so bad. That's so bad. We both suck so bad at this. Of course it was. So I can only really spend 6s here. Otherwise, we stand no chance. All right. Okay. If I push this 1 to a 2, what do I get? 50 neutral. That's not worth it. That really doesn't feel worth it. And this is on an entirely separate calculation strand from the fact that neither of us are endure is going to make this so miserable. Okay. All right. We do still have food. We still have plenty of food. We don't need to rush this. But the stress is starting to continue to damage my shit, which is not great. I have a lot of sixes. So I'm gonna have to spend all of those on the frozen core. Otherwise, we are in deep shit. Okay. Oh, it gives me stress on the neutral. That's fine. Because if we do it, we're out here. Oh my god. It's so bad. It's so bad. I will take so much damage the next day by resting. But I have to. I definitely have to rest. Because if I don't, if I try and risk... Well, we do actually have a bunch of... Because this goes down by what, 2? Yeah, neutral to negative. Although at least if Bliss takes this and I don't... We live on a coin flip. Piss. Okay. We're kind of do or dying it here. I have enough resources to do one more day, and we'll clear it, I think, in one more day. It's just really not good. The fact that neither of us have, okay, only 1 point of damage. The fact that neither of us have endure is so, so fucky. It's very funny. Just joking, it's not funny, it's miserable. All right, let's complete this part of the mission, please, please, please. Okay, finally a positive outcome. Got it. The sample core, a long and weighty cylinder of cloudy ice, comes up out of the borehole cleanly. It glows in the sunlight, catching the rays in its frosted interior. Nicely done, Sleeper, Bliss chirps through the comms. I never caught an asteroid before, but the result is pretty. Let's hope it's drinkable. Let's not milk it down for liquid refreshment just yet, Seraphim chimes in. It's likely it's packed with unpleasant impurities. The question is, are they the kind of impurities the fast spindle can filter out? Let's get up to the ship, and we can run the analysis on the trip back, Seraphim pauses. And before you get any ideas about digging around on that asteroid some more, remember that if we break away any of the ice, Malik will likely dock our pay. You start the journey back up to the ship, dragging the sample core with you. As you do, you look back down at the asteroid, wondering if it might be the bargaining chip Malik has been looking for. You'll know soon enough. We didn't spoil the haul. Let's see if we can finish this. At the very least, I know I can finish this quite cleanly. Mm-hmm. There's no reason not to use our best die for this. A flickering screen catches your eye in the dark of the bunker. A distorted female face, further refracted by the surrounding ice, stares at you from the terminal with blank white eyes. You move closer, straining to hear her voice, but the recording is silent, or perhaps the terminal's audio output is broken. All you can do is watch the pale face as it contorts through the corruption and noise. It could be explaining some important secret long forgotten, or just recounting a personal anecdote. It's hard to tell. Circles and curving arcs flash across the face, graphical visualizations of orbits and flight plans. You squint at them, the shapes unknown to you. And then, as soon as it starts, the playback ends, leaving a frozen frame on the screen, a ghost face circled by orbits. You slot a drive into the terminal and copy what residual data is left, unsure where it might lead you. Once it is done, you shut off the terminal once and for all. As you leave the bunker, the pale face flashes once more into your mind. Those blank eyes, that flat stare. Was that a human? Or something else? You turn the image over in your mind, unsure of its importance. You get 3 pieces of Solheim data. Now. This is like a 75% chance? Yeah, okay. I'm willing to risk both, assuming this doesn't flop. Hey, we smashed it. We just get more scrap. Oh, it's rare components too. That's super good. We managed to do this without breaking any dice, but yeah, we're close. We're done, right? Contract concluded. Mission complete. Something flickers in the back of your mind. Oh, we got really good dice as well. Hell yeah. You stop. You have to stop to blink it away. It is a tightness behind your left eye, an aching point that refuses to move. And then the voice begins, hissing through the background noise of the rig's systems, and you whine amongst the chorus of the life support and ventilation. Sleeper. The hiss brings Lane's sharp features in mind. I suppose you thought you had slipped my net. Hexport jumps into your mind, an image of the station immolating in white light, though you were not conscious to witness it. You were distant, his voice hisses in the white noise, but you are not free of me yet. I'm coming, sleeper, the hiss drops, and I will retake control of what is mine. The closer I come to you, the more I will feel it. Lane moves his finger to tap your forehead. In here. Until you cannot resist. A bright smile, pale eyes, a growing hiss that hurts. Then the hiss is gone. The rig suddenly quiet. The stinging tightness diffusing behind your eyes. But the fear remains. Sleeper, you good? Seraphine is there, floating by your berth. You were talking. Lane is coming. Seraphine looks alarmed. You feel him, right? Looks away. You can use that. Stay ahead of him. He squeezes your shoulder. We can do this. We are fast and smart. We keep moving. We don't stay anywhere for long. And we find a way. He frowns. Somehow. You nod. You do not know how Lane is able to reach your mind like this, how he is able to speak into you, but you want so desperately for it to stop. You must find out what he has done to you before it is too late. You must stay ahead of Lane at all costs. Hi, mildly Cockney. Sleeper? Cadet drifts from the shadows outside Bliss's Bay, looking around nervously as she approaches. Seems like I'm gonna have to kill in that favor. Her face is pale and deathly serious. Are you okay? She doesn't seem to hear you, distracted by a group of spacers gliding noisily down the passage behind her. She waits until they pass. Someone hit strip line. No idea where Kamal is. Bunch of goons tearing the place apart as we speak. She screws up her face in pain. Even tried to grab me. But those muscleheads are slow. Wait, why? Remember that package I asked for with your help? The one that was bothering me? Remember you mentioning it. I reckon it's got something to do with it. The job was a bus. It's an express run all the way to the underhang, but when I got there, no one home. She's whispering now, leaning closer. Place was smashed up. Like someone got there first. Should have dumped the package and run, but I brought it back like a good girl. Stash it in a safe spot at stripline. Thought the sender might come to recover it, and when they didn't, well, I got curious and popped it open. She shakes her head. Stupid thing to do. Inside was a drive encrypted to hell and back. When I ran into you, I heard the sleepers were good with data, with tech, so I thought you might be able to take a look at it. She shrugs. Now stripline's just trash too. Here's the thing. So enough time has passed while I was away on that job that this has broken bad. I potentially should have done this first before leaving. Fine. Here's the thing. She glances around. Back when I popped it open, I noticed the drive had a dispatch marker. Export. I really don't want to implicate myself to this woman. Does it mean anything? That it was sent from Hexport just before the whole place blew sky high? She shrugs. Sure, if it was just another job, but people want this thing. She pauses, and I mean it. She slips a hand terminal from her bag, taps a couple times, and holds it up to you. Cadet stares out at you from the screen, straight-faced and pale. Beside her picture, you see in block capitals, Spindlejack KD754, in breach of fast spindle codes B12 and F34. Reward for information leading to capture. Considered dangerous. Dickheads blasted it out on the transit channels. Every Spindlejack, hauler, and freight carrier is going to be watching for me. She pulls back the hand terminal angrily, stuffing it away in her bag. Something's going on. Anyone who can help? She looks away. Spindeljacks don't make friends easily. And now the couriers I do know are looking to turn me in for a payout. She snaps her head to the side, her eyes flashing with anger. Why do you think I'm here? It's time for that favor, Sleeper. She meets your eye. My connections are burnt. Hell, my whole career is gone. I need to fight back. If I walk away, there's nothing to walk away to. She softens up a little. I need your help. What can I do? I need you to get the drive. She takes a breath. If they want it back much, then I can use it to buy my way out of this shit show. And I tucked it away somewhere safe, so my guess is they haven't got it yet. You just slip in, I'll give you the location and pull the thing out. She folds her arms. Should be simple. None of this is simple. Just snatch it and go. Don't overthink it. Look, this thing turns out to be worth something, you'll get your due. All I want is my life back. The driver's in the workshop. There's a loose panel behind the airbag rack. She leans in. It's taped to the back of the fuse box inside. I've got to keep heading down Spindle to the overhang, past the end of the transit tunnels. No one will rat me out there. She glances around. I'll come find you when it's done. I've still got some network access. I'll know when you go in. She winks, offering no further explanation. My bike's locked up nearby. I'm gonna hop. She pauses. Do me this favor, then we're clear. Stay safe. Doing my best, Sleeper. She gives you a mock salute. She slips back into the shadows, and a few moments later you hear the percussive pulse of an airbike accelerating away. You know at least what it's like to be on the run, to flee for your life, and in that you feel an empathy, a connection with Cadet. But from every other angle, this thing looks like bad news, the kind a sensible person would steer well clear from. Then perhaps you would steer well clear if it wasn't for one detail that is stuck in your mind. The drive is from Hexport. Is all that enough to send you down to the strip line in search of that drive? Only time will tell. On the journey back from the asteroid, he pored over the tests Malik had given you to run, improvising the necessary equipment from your mess. Each one produced spools of data, much of which you couldn't pass. Arriving into the vicinity of the fast spindle, you broadcast these strings of data to Malik's personal terminal on the Springtide, as instructed. Despite all this preparation, you are still surprised when you find Malik standing at the far side of the docking tunnel as you leave the rig. Sleeper. He nods neatly at you. I thought it was better I come down here, away from my crew, to discuss your findings. To discuss your findings, not distrust. To discuss your findings. And the findings were... straight to the point. He clasped his hands. Good. As I suspected, the asteroid was indeed rich with water ice. Thankfully, the contaminants can be dealt with. He speaks matter-of-factly, betraying little emotion. With the data you provided, I should be able to convince the Fast Spindle administration of its worth. To payment, then? Before I make payment, I would like to ask in person if you saw anything else of consequence. Anything to share with me that might affect my dealings with the Fast Spindle. He folds his arms across his chest. I'd prefer not to have any surprises when they go to retrieve the water. I see no reason not to tell him. There was a shaft. Interesting. Malik smiles. It is likely of no consequence. If there is something of value there, it could play to my benefit. I will mention the potential of additional salvage to the Fast Spindle administration. Given that data, it doesn't seem to have impacted the ice. Malik reaches into his pocket and produces a stack of cryo-chits, bound carefully with a strip of paper. 250 cryo, as agreed. You take the chits and quickly tuck them away. With that, our business is concluded, Sleeper. Malik nods slightly. I must speak with the administration to negotiate the release of my ship and then prepare for immediate departure. The Syndicate will be eager for my successful return. Thank you. Malik bows and turns. Should our paths cross again, I will see that it will be to your benefit. Well, not everything is fucked. Alright. Stuff to do. Let us restock on supplies. And I'm willing to spend 40 to fill up fuel to max. Excellent. Good that I have a bunch of very good dice here. Although I'm about to have many glitch dice tomorrow, which is not great. Marvelous. Obtained. You slide loose the panel away from the wall, letting it float there, besides the air bike rack. Behind it in the dark, you see the blinking lights of the fuse box. A noise nearby draws your attention for a moment. The scrape of a sliding door, maybe. Or just some old systems cycling in the walls. It took long enough to gain access to the Stripline Express bike garage, and longer still to find a safe route to the airbike racks, but you are almost there. You have seen and heard the hired muscles searching and guarding this place, but have been lucky enough not to come face to face with them yet. You turn back to the darkness behind the panel. If what Cadet said is right, the drive is taped to the back of the fuse box in front of you. You reach through and around. Slowly, carefully, your hand settles on something cold and metallic in the dark. It is taped firmly to the box. You pull at it, but it doesn't budge. A quiet rattle echoes through the dispatch office next door, and you freeze for a second. It seems Cadet was a little too enthusiastic with the tape. You close your eyes and feel for the seams of the tape. Taking your time, you pick at it, working each piece away from the drive. You hear a clattering sound nearby as you peel off the final piece and the drive spins into your hand. Time to move. You slip the drive into your coat and kick away from the wall, gliding back towards the maintenance corridor you entered from. As you cross the bike garage, you hear voices in the dispatch office next door. Just as you tuck yourself into the cool darkness of the maintenance corridor, a screech indicates the opening of a door from the office next door. Voices rumble through the room, and you quickly and quietly push yourself deeper into the guts of the building. Too close. Barely daring to breathe, you carefully make your way through the maze of passages that brought you here, their dog legs and dead ends now familiar. Eventually, you spot a thin slit of light ahead, marking the loose panel you levered open to gain entrance. You take a deep breath. Almost there. As you reach the gap, you freeze. Voices rumble from beyond, and peering through, you see two figures in dark clothes searching the chaotic bay behind the strip line. Your eyes are drawn to the dark, boxy weapon one holds at their side. Shit. You silently hiss to yourself, your eyes reaching, searching for a path through. You wait, silent and still, as the figures surge. They split and drift across the bay. You take the chance, sliding across the bay. You wait, silent and still, as the figures surge. They split and drift across the bay. You take the chance, sliding open the panel and slipping behind the scrap and boxes at the edge of the room. You work your way around until you can't get any further. You kick off hard, making a dash for the far side of the bay and the public passage beyond. There is a hiss and the guttural chatter of pressure valves as an airbike pulls up beside you in the passage. Cadet leans over and grabs the collar of your coat. Hop on? In a moment, you're on the back of the airbike, clutching at the strap of Cadet's bag as she guns it down the passage, the air resistance almost ripping you from the thin seat. You lean against her back and let out a sigh, the drive pressing into your ribs beneath your jacket. You did it. Still alive back there? Cadet's voice brings you back from the hypnotic rhythm of the tunnel lights rushing past the airbike. She slows the bike with a rapid series of hisses, and you realize she has brought you to the passage outside Bliss's Bay. You try to understand the route she took, a long loop through the branching transit tunnels of the station, but give up. You can let go now. She straightens up and you unhook your fingers from her bag strap, separating yourself from her back. You push off the bike gently and float in the passage beside her. You okay? Look pretty rough back there, she smiles. Appreciate you putting it all on the line for me. Who were those guys? Your guess is as good as mine, she shrugs. Didn't look like anyone nice though, I wouldn't swear. She smiles. Go on then, let's see the drive. You fish the drive out of your jacket and hand it over. That's the one, she squints at it. Should have chucked it when I had the chance. You get your first good look at it, and there isn't much to see. A small lump of solid-state memory with a few markers on the case. You spot a yellow hex among them. Hexport. It's better be worth it, she sighs. I never promised profit, Sleeper. She slides her bag around her shoulder to the front and slots the drive neatly into a pocket. Answers? Maybe. I know someone in the scatter yards who can crack anything. She'd be my first port of call to crack this thing open. She stretches her shoulders. And I should make myself scarce from the spindle anyway, before those dickheads catch up with me. Come with us. I appreciate the offer, but I think it's best if we go our separate ways for now. 2 targets are harder to track than 1. She cycles the pressure valve on the bike impatiently. Cadet leans away from her bike, squinting out of the viewing window at the ship behind. That yours? She doesn't wait for an answer. If I'm not mistaken, that old thing is going to struggle to reach the scatter yards. Unless you have a Hasnav suite? Hasnav? Yeah, the belt between here and the scatter yards is drowning in debris. Worse than sexport. You'll need hazard navigation to make the crossing safely. Low-Tech Syndicate created the tech to help their tankers cross the belt. Common knowledge. Cadet nods at your ship. Maybe if you head up to Wellspring, you can barter or steal a suite, she adds casually. Here. Cadet unties a bag lashed to her brake frame and holds it out to you. Not enough here for a refit, but maybe you'll find some use for him. You take the bag and something clinks inside it as you do. You open it to see a couple of engine components. Was going to use them to boost her. She taps the frame of her airbike. But you deserve them. She meets your eye, then looks away. Not like I'll be doing any runs for a while anyway. Thanks. It's nothing. Like I said, you deserved them. She flexes her fingers on the bike's handles, eager to be away. Cadet's airbike stutters and purrs, trembling in the air like an arrow. Trembling in the air like an arrow ready to be loosed. See you around? She winks and guns the throttle, zipping off down the passage with the pulse of air that ripples through your clothes. You stare after her as she goes, the bag of components still hanging from your hand. You realize as you look down the passage, you never asked how Cadet plans to get to the Scattyards. That question, like a score of others, will have to wait until you run into her next. Although you have a feeling she will find a way to slip away before you can ask them next time too. You head back towards your ship to stow the components, idly wondering if you could justify bringing the airbike to Seraphim as you do so. Ooh, I am starting to feel it voice-wise this time, actually, which is a shame. Trying not to run my throat too bad. I have one die to spend. Oh, does that go back down if you Nember's kitchen. I have to deliver the spores, I see. Yeah, there isn't really a place for me to sensibly spend my one. So it feels like... God, I'm at 3 glitch. Because if I go on a mission now, those 3 glitch dice are going to be all up in my business. No dice damage on the push reroll. Oh, I see. Oh, it took 2 to switch it. I see. That's not quite what I wanted, but okay. Fair enough. Now with dice damage, though, I think that's probably more of an advantage than re-rolling an extra die. How are we doing? I think we're in a position where we could attempt to do another mission, but yeah, unfortunately, I am actually -3 the hunt during travel. Lane is hunting you once again. His progress will be tracked by the hunt clock. If this is filled, he will catch up with you. It'll increase once every cycle you spend in the hub. However, every time you travel, the hunt will reduce by 3. If you can keep moving, you can stay 1 step ahead. I see. So one of the things we can do, because I don't think there's any other specific clocks to follow up on right now, is work through our glitch dice, which gets us up to like 4, and then vanish off with our glitch cleared to be able to proceed. That might be the plan. Because what is there here for me to do necessarily? It's mostly just earning money. I don't really need money right now. Alternatively, if where we're heading to is not like a dangerous mission, there'll be a place that we can rest on that other ship, right? Let's experiment. Let's end cycle, because this refreshes my grip of dice, and we'll see how many times I'm glitched out. 2, sure. Oh, and it dropped the glitch by 2 as well, which is great. So I can earn some money, not spend those, and then fuck off. Seems like the plan. But yeah. We are slowly making good progress, I feel. The 13 cryo, okay, solid amount for that kind of thing. Let me spend all of my good dice doing this. If we get a neutral outcome, I can heal that off. Okay, fine. Let's try one of these just to. For some strange reason, I really am resistant to the idea of just spending the 4 cryo and not getting healed. So I'm like, I'll do enough to damage me and then heal that off, and then that's more efficient. I don't know why. The fast spindle is an exhausting place to find freelancers. There's no shortage of spaces here. The corridors and bays throng with crew inbound and outbound, on or between contracts, trading stories, contacts, and materials. But whatever language, appearance, or code identifies someone as worth signing on with, you don't seem to have it. Perhaps it's because you're a new face, or are notably unsure. Or perhaps it's just because you're a sleeper. You push the thought to the back of your mind, and instead focus on what's in front of you. The vast cylindrical tank at the center of Gaia's gyre. The first time you entered the bar, you floated open-mouthed, much like all the new arrivals do, at the sight of the huge kelp stack, the biggest you have ever seen. Even now, your eyes fixed on the fronds of seaweed that wave in the circulating water. Beyond the curve of the dirty glass, you find it impressive. You take a sip of the harsh, saline-scented rack from its magnetic vessel, secured to the bar. As you suck on the straw, your eyes following the shifting fronds, you hear someone clearing their throat beside you at the bar. Hypnotic, isn't it? Maybe, in this kind of space. A little crackly, a little deep, just a touch American. Hypnotic, isn't it? The voice is low and rumbling. It comes from the large figure on the stool next to you. The fluorescent lights behind the bar glint in his eyes, shining up into his wide, rough face. I've heard talk you're hiring. The figure turns to face you. You don't recognize him, but in the shifting light of Jaya's Gaia, that isn't surprising. You've seen the other way around before. And you are? Eugen, currently freelance. He turns on his stool and leans back a little. The effect is clearly meant to impress on you his size, and you have to admit, it works. Served on a whole slate of crews out of the spindle. Cutters, mercs, extractors. See, this is the guy with the endurance stats that would have been really useful to have on the ice flotilla, but it's fine. He smiles and places a broad hand on his chest. Broad skill set. Good work ethic. Sense of humor. The full package. Humble too. He clucks with his tongue, smiling. I like you already. We're gonna get on. I'll run anything out of the fast spindle. I'm tough and quiet, and you won't need to worry about me. He folds his arms across his chest. What kind of work are we talking about? Before you can answer, a voice echoes out from behind you. Eugen! You look over your shoulder for the source of the shout. Busy as ever, I see. A group of 3 spacers drift up from behind you, one of them placing a heavy hand on your shoulder. She is fitted with matte metal optical implants, and you cannot see her eyes. The caustic light from the tank plays across her face. Too busy to keep in touch? She sighs. I really don't like it when I have to come out and find you. Vesna. Eugen nods politely at her, not betraying any strong reaction. Do I look like I'm socializing? He shakes his head. This is a meeting. Oh, a meeting? Vesna squeezes your shoulder. Is this what this is? Yes, Vesna. We're, talking about your delivery, in fact. Eugen smiles widely. My friend here is being very helpful. He shoots you a knowing glance. That's right. Vesna turns to you with a raised eyebrow, but before she can speak, Eugen cuts in. This sleeper has a unique ability to extract data. Eugen smiles at Vesta. Exactly the kind of data you've been asking for. So, if we can just get back to it, Eugen gestures towards you, then I can deliver what you need. You know, Eugen, I'm pretty tired of this whole act. She gestures dismissively at him. But in the end, it doesn't matter. She drops her hand from your shoulder to her belt. Your eyes follow it down, and you see a dark, boxy shape there. A weapon? You either deliver by the deadline or you don't. And when you don't, she smiles tightly, I'll be happy to take you through the consequences. Until then, she shoots you a final glance. Chat to whoever the hell you want. They were looking for the data file that we helped extract earlier. Do we play both sides for money? This is the interesting matter. Vesna and the two spaces flanking her glide out of the bar, and Eugen watches them go with a little emotion. So, Eugen's smile returns. You're about to hire me? What was that? Vesna? He shrugs. She's just trying to rush me, that's all. I won't be working with her again. He pauses, choosing his words carefully. Of course, I can't talk about the particulars. You understand. Vesna just wants to scare you off. She likes to cause me trouble. Eugen looks away out the door of the bar. Let's not let her. He pauses in silence for a moment, still looking away. You try to get a read on him, but his face is blank. Only his glittering eyes hint at some rapid internal activity. He turns back to you and meets your eye, a sudden shift in his manner obvious. If you need crew, you need to work. If you need to work, you need cryo. Is that right? He doesn't stop for your answer. Well, I can offer both. Hard work and a good contract with a good payout. You take me with you on this job of mine and we split the take. He looks down, thinking. Hell, if you do, I'll consider signing on long term. He smiles. Think of that. No more recruiting. Well, what's the job? Salvage. He leans in. I know of a wreck untouched by the local crews which recently turned up in the wash. It's a little somewhat from here, but it's, disabled transponder makes it invisible to anyone who doesn't know it's there. I had to squeeze the location out of the contract, but I'll share it with you for a straight split. Take me and your crew, and we'll claim it all. It's going to be a really good payout, he winks. A really good one. So what's the catch? Eugen frowns. No catch. He leans back and looks around the bar. Happy to take the offer elsewhere. I just felt like you were the right captain for this one. I'll be ready whenever you like, Eugen pauses. As a show of good faith, I'll also fly out with you on any job from the far spindle. But I'm not leaving the station with you yet. Not till we get my job done. Not till we get my job done first. After that, we can talk flying together. No need to rush into it. He shakes your hand firmly, his palm rough and pitted, and then turns back to his drink. You slip out of the bar looking to see if Vesna is nearby. You don't spot her among the passing crews, but you can't help but imagine eyes on you in the bar. You shake it off, having become familiar with the feeling of being observed. What matters is you found yourself a crew member and a contract. Whether either will come good, however, remains to be seen. Okay, we got a bunch of things. Let's diagnose our frame. That's probably going to be the important thing to do in the moment. Investigating Hexport will be interesting later. Okay. So it seems our next jaunt is very much off-island. How I liking the game? I'm liking the game a lot. I was a really big fan of Citizen Sleeper 1. and you know, lots of people were kind of talking about how that game was quite easy, and how Citizen Sleeper 2 does a lot to kind of fix issues with the first game. And I think this is very tonally different from the first game. My thesis statement of Citizen Sleeper 1 is that existing as a trans person is difficult, but by working together with your local community, you giving and people giving to you in kind, you can actually live comfortably and find people that care about you and you care about them, which is a wonderful sentiment, and I think something I needed. I definitely teared up at the end of it, but mechanically reflecting that means that the game gets easier over time as more people support you, right? And a lot of people who are real gamers, right, were like, this game is too easy, which I understand. They have definitely made. I've only seen the one ending, Callie, but it was the one where you go and you leave with the father daughter and just run out of juice to keep yourself operant while in space and just decay, which was still very beautiful. I think the fact that you kind of pass alongside people who aren't trying to hunt you down is probably all you can ask for. But yeah. Oh, and thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate you. Yeah. There's like another 2 or 3 other endings and then a bunch of DLC, which I haven't touched at all and would probably like to go back to and try at some point. But there's something about that kind of nature of game where you get to the ending, you get an ending, and you're like, I don't need to return to the world again. I enjoyed that space, but maybe I'll return for the DLC. But yeah, this game is very different in tone because obviously you're moving between a lot of different locations, and the way that, I mean, allyship was already hard to come by in its early stages in Citizen Sleeper 1, but you are relying on people to make sure you survive missions in dangerous locations now. So it's not just being forgiving of people's mistakes, because people's mistakes will kill you. Right? Last session, we had Nia assist us with scavenging like data and scraps from that kind of like falling apart space station, and like the narrative really played out in an interesting way where there were lots of 75% chances of success rolls that she could take and then failed 3 of them, which meant that when she inevitably went, hey, actually I was lying and I want to make your life harder, I was in my feelings about that, truly. I was like, this would be one thing if you were coming in clutch and then said, oh, by the way, my aims aren't lining up. But as it stood, it was like, I've made your job so much more difficult. Also, I'm technically betraying you. And I was like, oh my God, girl, why? So it's definitely a very different feeling as you align with people. Technically, we are in a position where we're about to go and vanish off to another mission. I do feel that currently, it would probably be best to see if we can go and get ourselves fixed, which I'm pretty sure is diagnosing from it is this one in Flotsam. But unfortunately, I'm getting scratchy in my throat for voicing. Last time I managed to do 3.5 hours pretty smoothly, but I think I don't want to push myself too hard today. So I think this is probably a pretty good stopping point. I do appreciate everybody for stopping in, though, and thank you for saying hi, Kelly. I really appreciate you joining and following. To highlight in general, just for both this and the future, so people will know in the VOD, I genuinely stream on Thursdays, mostly. I stream with my co-host, Rafi the Owl. At the moment, we are doing an arc where we're playing like 90s edutainment games for nostalgia purposes. But I played this in the off week last Thursday, enjoyed it so much, I wanted to do more. I will continue to do more of this. I will see if I can keep doing this on Tuesdays for as long as it lines up. So if you want to go and catch up more, please do come out, hang with us on a Tuesday. But for now, I am going to bid you all a good evening. It's been nice to meet you as well. We hope we see you again. I have been your androgynous android late night DJ Caster. This has been the Neon Caster Twitch channel, and I hope you all have a fabulous week. We will see you all again soon on Thursday. Peace out, everybody. Later.